Welcome to another deep dive with us.
Glad to be here.
Today we're tackling Chapter 5 of Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Oh, an excellent choice.
And get this, we've got some great sources to work with. Dementors at Hogwarts, some cool pasted text, and even a Prisoner of Azkaban Chapter 5 study guide. Perfect for any student listeners.
Sounds comprehensive.
It is. And listen to this. Dementors popping up at Hogwarts, a new defense against the dark arts teacher, who's a bit of a mystery, Professor Lupin. And, drumroll please, Hagrid finally gets his dream job.
It's all happening in this chapter.
It is. It starts all cheery on the Hogwarts Express, that back-to-school feeling, but then, bam, things take a dark turn.
It's that contrast that makes it so powerful. You're lulled into this sense of normalcy, and then, wham, darkness descends, foreshadowing at its best.
And the Weasleys are there, of course, adding to the chaos, always entertaining. And Ron, well, his sneakoscope is going bonkers.
A hint of the trouble brewing, perhaps.
And then, the Dementor. Talk about a chilling entrance. I remember reading it the first time. Chills down my spine.
Rowling's descriptions are so vivid. The temperature plummets, the colors drain away, everything goes silent. You're right there with Harry, feeling that despair.
And Harry, he doesn't just get a little spooked. He hears his mom screaming, faints, the whole 9 yards. What's with his extreme reaction?
Well, our sources suggest a few things. First, there's Harry's past trauma, witnessing his parents' murder.
Right, it's like the Dementors digging all that up, amplifying it.
Exactly. But there's also his connection to Voldemort. Dementors, they feed on dark magic, and Voldemort's practically made of it.
So it's like Harry's a walking buffet for these things.
In a way, yes. And this vulnerability, it's going to be huge as the story progresses. Both a weakness and maybe, just maybe, a strength.
Then in sweeps Professor Lupin. And he's not your typical defense against the dark arts teacher, is he?
Not at all. He's described as shabby, a little worse for wear, quite a contrast to the other, more polished professors.
More like a kindly grandpa than a powerful wizard,
Yeah.
But he handles that Dementor like it's nothing.
That calm, that control, it speaks volumes. He knows his stuff, especially when it comes to the dark side of magic.
And let's not forget the chocolate.
Ah, yes. The chocolate. Small detail, but so significant. Lupin understands the toll the Dementor takes, not just physically, but emotionally.
It's like a little bit of comfort after a nightmare.
Exactly. And speaking of new faces, Hogwarts has another surprise up its sleeve this year. Remember the feast.
Oh, you mean Hagrid as the new Care of Magical Creatures teacher? The students went wild. You could practically feel Hagrid's joy leaping off the page.
A real victory, not just for Hagrid, but for anyone who's been underestimated. Remember, he was expelled, wrongly accused.
And his appointment, it's like saying, hey, we were wrong about you.
Exactly. A testament to perseverance, to dedication. A beautiful message about overcoming prejudice.
But not everyone's popping champagne. Snape, for example, doesn't seem too thrilled about Lupin's arrival.
To put it mildly, there's some serious bad blood there, some history we haven't uncovered yet. Just adds to the intrigue.
It's like, what happened between these two? And how will it affect Harry?
Excellent questions. And speaking of questions, our student listeners had a big one. Why can't Harry go to Hogsmeade?
Oh, yeah, the magical village of every kid's dreams.
Ah,
But those Dursleys, they didn't sign his permission slip?
bureaucracy at its finest. Even Fudge, who's supposed to be looking out for Harry, wouldn't budge.
It's like they're more worried about rules than Harry's safety, even with Sirius Black on the loose.
Exactly. And that just adds to Harry's isolation, his vulnerability.
So we've got a Dementor attack, a new teacher with a mysterious past, a triumphant Hagrid, a grumpy Snape, and a whole lot of unanswered questions.
This is just the beginning.
It is. And this chapter, it lays the foundation for everything that's to come in Prisoner of Azkaban.
Couldn't agree more.
Why don't we take a moment to gather our thoughts? We'll be right back to delve even deeper into the significance of all this and what it means for Harry's journey.
Sounds like a plan. Those Dementors, they really are something else. More than just spooky figures, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. They're like the embodiment of despair.
That's it. They don't just make you feel down, they suck away all the good stuff. Happiness, hope, gone. Like on the train, remember? All those yummy smells from the feast just vanished.
Poof. Like magic, but not the fun kind.
Exactly. That's their power. Stripping away joy, leaving you empty. It's terrifying, really. They can break you.
Makes Azkaban sound even worse, if that's possible. But it's more than just a physical threat, right? It's like in your head, too.
You're getting at something important. That feeling, that emptiness, it can happen to anyone. Wizards, witches, everyone.
So like a metaphor for depression, that kind of thing.
Right on. And that's why it resonates so much. We all face those dark moments. The Dementors just, well, they personify it.
Even in a world full of magic, there's still darkness lurking. Makes you think.
It does. And that darkness, it can be tempting, especially when you're already vulnerable. Like Harry on the train, worried sick about Sirius Black, then bam, Dementor attack.
Makes you wonder, if he hadn't been so stressed, would it have hit him that hard?
Interesting question. Shows how our emotions, they can make us more open to those negative forces, both inside and out.
So what can you even do against that kind of darkness?
Well, there's magic, of course. Professor Lupin, he just swishes his wand. Problem solved. Shows that even these powerful creatures, they can be overcome with the right knowledge.
But then there's the chocolate, right? Seems simple, but
But brilliant. It's like taking care of yourself. Little acts of kindness go a long way, especially after something scary.
like Lupin saying, hey, you went through a lot, have a treat, you deserve it. So sweet.
Literally. And that self-compassion, it's vital.
Yeah.
For mental and emotional well-being, especially when things are tough. Build resilience.
Like a shield against the darkness, both out there and within.
Exactly. An important message for everyone, especially young readers. You're not alone, and here's how to help yourself. Now, shifting gears a bit, let's talk about Hagrid and Professor Lupin. Two very different characters yet.
There's something that connects them, right? Like they're both kind of outsiders.
Sharp observation. Hagrid, he's a giant, loves those scary creatures. People judge him before they even know him.
And Lupin, with his worn-out clothes and mysterious illness, people are wary of him too.
But both of them, despite all that, they're incredibly skilled and kind.
Hagrid's a true friend, so caring. And Lupin, he turns out to be an amazing teacher, a real mentor to Harry.
And both of them, they understand these creatures everyone else is scared of. Hagrid loves them all, no matter how dangerous. And Lupin, well, he's got that dark creature's expertise.
It makes you think, how often do we judge based on appearances, without really seeing who someone is?
You hit the nail on the head. Their stories show us that strength, kindness, they can come from unexpected places. Never judge a book by its cover. So we've got despair, hope, resilience, prejudice, acceptance, all packed into one chapter.
Like a whole buffet of themes. And we haven't even gotten to Ron's crazy sneakoscope or Snape's obvious dislike of Lupin.
So much to discuss.
Let's take a breather, gather our thoughts. We'll be right back to wrap up our deep dive with a closer look at those details and how they hint at what's to come in Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yeah. Welcome back to our deep dive. We've covered so much ground already, but Chapter 5 just keeps on giving.
It really does. Rowling's attention to detail, it's incredible. Every little thing seems to connect to the bigger picture.
We talked about Dementors, that feeling of despair, and those defenses like magic and even just self-care. And Hagrid and Lupin, how they challenge those prejudices, show that acceptance is key.
Absolutely. But there's one more shadow looming over everything.
Right.
Sirius Black.
Right. Even though he's not physically in this chapter, you can feel his presence. It's like this underlying tension, a constant reminder that danger's close by. All that whispering, the rumors swirling about Black, what he might do.
Adds to the mystery, makes you question everything. Who's safe? What's going to happen next?
Exactly. That uncertainty, it drives the story forward. And we find out later that Black's escape, it's not just about Harry. It sets off this chain reaction affecting the whole wizarding world.
Like a catalyst for change, forcing everyone to confront their past, make tough choices.
Precisely. And speaking of conflict, let's not forget our favorite little bully, Draco Malfoy.
Oh, Malfoy. He might not be a Dementor or a wanted criminal, but he's definitely a pain in Harry's side.
Malfoy's bullying, it adds another layer to the story, showing how power and prejudice, they exist even at Hogwarts.
He's like the poster boy for pureblood elitism, like a constant reminder that the wizarding world isn't all sunshine and butterbeer.
And his cruelty towards Harry, it's not just personal rivalry. Harry, he represents everything Malfoy and his family hate.
An orphan, raised by muggles, doesn't fit their idea of pure wizarding blood.
Exactly. Harry's a challenge to their worldview. And this conflict, it reflects that bigger battle between good and evil, tolerance and intolerance, running through the whole series.
And then there's Ron's sneakoscope.
Yeah.
That thing just wouldn't quit. What was up with that?
The sneakoscope, it senses untrustworthy behavior. And it's going haywire around Ron, meaning something's off. Something we don't know yet.
Rowling loves dropping those little hints, making us question everything. Genius.
It is, and it's what makes these books so rereadable. You always catch something new, another layer of meaning.
So to sum it all up, Chapter 5 of Prisoner of Azkaban, it's not just setting the stage. It's a microcosm of the whole series, packed with those key themes, those conflicts, those characters that'll shape Harry's journey.
It's a chapter that deserves close attention, careful thought. And to all our student listeners out there, keep asking those questions, keep digging deeper. Rawling's world has so much to offer.
Couldn't agree more. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure. Hope you enjoyed exploring Prisoner of Azkaban with us.
And remember, the magic of reading. It's about discovering new worlds, new ideas, even new parts of ourselves. Until next time.